The Drake album, from what I've listened to, I think my hype for it was more than how good it actually was. The ICEMAN tracks, the CD side, the ICEMAN side was cool. A few songs I like, a few songs I gotta go back and re-listen to. I might download maybe. But that could just be right now. It could grow on me this weekend or something. But I don't know if a lot of it is for me. And that's okay. Because if it was for me and I honestly just don't like it, then I probably like 10 for 41, 12 for 41. But I ain't really finished it, so I can't say that.
The hip-hop world has been waiting on this moment for a long time. After months of mystery, giant ice sculptures in Toronto, live stream teasers, and non-stop anticipation, Drake finally dropped ICEMAN. But in classic Drake fashion, he didn't stop there. Instead of giving fans one album, Drake shocked everybody by dropping 3 projects at once: ICEMAN, Habibti, and Maid of Honour. And honestly, this feels way bigger than just an album release. This feels like Drake trying to prove something.
Just like that. Wow. Today couldn't be better. You know, I'm not going to go in depth into breaking down these albums. Obviously, I need more time to listen to it. Up-tempo, ICEMAN, that's kind of more my steez. It always takes me a while to get the slower songs because you got to get in that tempo. Some of them are tied to storytelling and emotions and stuff like that. It takes a while for at least for me to catch on to those particulars. So the second album was clearly more of a, you know, in the club for the girls, but it has a little bit of house and, you know, international music too. % when it comes to this last album, Habibti. Clearly this is for the females. This is some slow shit. This is definitely about love, relationships. This is R&B mostly. If I had to rank him so far with ICEMAN, then I think I'm going Habibti 2, and then I'm going, what was it, Maid of Honour 3.
Because let's just be real for a second. Ever since the beef with Kendrick Lamar in 2024, Drake has been moving differently. Whether fans want to admit it or not, public opinion shifted after Kendrick dropped Not Like Us. For the first time in a long time, Drake didn't look untouchable anymore. So ICEMAN immediately came with pressure. This wasn't just another Drake project. This felt like a comeback attempt, a response, and maybe even Damage Control all wrapped into one. And honestly, parts of ICEMAN actually work really well.
So I just got done listening to the new album from Drake, ICEMAN, and these are my first impression thoughts. And yes, I do know Drake dropped 3 albums, but here I'm only talking about ICEMAN. So listening to this album, I think you will notice 2 things. 1, beat switches. Lots of beat switches. And 2, you'll notice that there's a lot of songs over a soulful sample where Drake is venting, he's complaining about how everyone's against him. The best of which I think is Make Them Cry, the intro track, where I actually think Drake doesn't come off so much as whiny, but more honest and truthful about feeling paranoid after everything that's happened. Some other highlights for me included Whisper My Name. I think there's a pretty solid beat and chorus on that song. I love the chop up on Shebang. That is a very fun song. And Too Hard for the Radio is like a Nokia Part 2 almost, but with like a West Coast kind of sound too. It kind of feels like he's doing an impersonation of Kendrick there, but it's kind of fun. But other than that, I can't really say there are too many other highlights for me. You have Ran to Atlanta with Future and Molly Santana, which is an absolute mess in my opinion. Make Them Pay is another soul sample where Drake is venting, but it contains an Aiden Ross bar that I don't see how anyone could defend. It makes me never want to listen to the song again. Bees on the Table has to be the worst collab Drake and 21 Savage have ever done. This would have been the worst song on Her Loss. Little Birdie literally sounds like a demo. What is going on with the vocals? Don't Worry is mind-numbingly boring. Firm Friends, again, is that same song we've heard on this album 5 times already. Make Them Know is a pretty weak ending too. The Indigenous bar is terrible. For the most part, it feels like Drake sounds defeated on like half of these songs. very low energy, not as many sticky hooks as some of his other albums have. For Drake standards, it feels pretty safe. Also, yet another Drake album that is entirely too long, did not need to be 18 tracks. While I wouldn't say this is Drake's worst album, there's a few redeemable songs on it, it's still not very great as a whole and doesn't have me very excited to listen to the other two albums. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Iceman.
Right away, the album sounds darker, colder, and more focused than some of Drake's recent work. There's a lonely, isolated energy throughout parts of the project that feels like somebody's still carrying emotional bruises from public embarrassment while trying to act like everything is fine. And make no mistake, Drake is still talking about Kendrick. Throughout the album, he throws indirect shots, questions Kendrick's image, and even suggests Kendrick's side tried to privately smooth things over after the beef. Whether people believe Drake or not, one thing becomes obvious fast. That battle still bothers him.
This is every artist that gets dissed on Drake's brand new album, Iceman. Starting off with Pusha T, Drake ends up making a little shot at Pusha on this album by bringing up the fact that he was named in the Epstein files a few months ago, and then says y'all was in the island hopping back and forth, now your name's redacted. Alongside that, A$AP Rocky also gets called out when Drake ends up saying your baby mama ain't even post your single where she at, and this is a reference to A$AP Rocky dropping his brand new album back in January, Don't Be Dumb. Drake also takes a shot at Jay-Z when he ends up saying that he would take the 500k over the dinner, with him flat out saying I'll take the 500k over the dinner. DJ Khaled also gets some shots for staying out of the beef even though Drake was dealing in a 1v20, with Drake specifically saying, Khaled, you know what I mean, the beef was fully live, you went halal and your people still waiting for a free Palestine, but apparently everything is in black and white and red and green. I'm seeing everyone's true colors. Playboy Cardi as well is caught in the crossfire during this album when Drake ends up dissing him by bringing up his brand new album Baby Boy, with Drake saying, baby boy please, I heard what you said to little bro about me, yeah, and when you run into Iceman, what you're gonna do except freeze, you not about to squeeze, you not in the streets. As for Kendrick Lamar, he gets dissed all over this album, with Drake firstly accusing him of botting his streams, with him saying, damn, who is this guy for real, 100 million streams vanished, no one got questions. And then in Iceman episode 4, Drake ends up lighting up a bot farm on fire, which is just another reference to Kendrick Lamar botting his streams to Not Like Us. And then Drake takes another shot at Kendrick Lamar with him saying, what was the year you said you had slaps, because I don't remember it going like that, I don't remember one word of your raps. Nonetheless though, what do you guys think about these disses that Drake made to different artists on Iceman? Are you guys rocking with them, or are you guys not? Let me know.
The problem is Drake did what Drake always does. He gave us way too much. Because while Iceman has strong moments, Drake somehow decided one album wasn't enough and dropped Habibti and Maid of Honour at the exact same time, bringing the total to over 40 songs and nearly 3 hours of music. And honestly, that's where things start falling apart, because what could have been a really focused comeback suddenly turns into an exhausting experience. Instead of leaving fans wanting more, Drake overwhelms them. Some songs start blending together, the themes repeat, more heartbreak, more betrayal, more loneliness in giant mansions, more flexing wealth while sounding emotionally exhausted.
Drake fans are highly disappointed in his new 3-part Man album. A lot of the complaint was his music hasn't matured. No one's asking Drake to make music about marriage or relationship, but bruh, you're almost 40 years old. Like, let's stop the Bachelor music. Let's stop making music about hoes and everybody turning their back on you. But I think that's the only thing Drake has to him. That is his whole persona. That is his whole career. People were also saying that hip hop is dead because his album didn't do that well. Hip hop is not dead. Let me tell you something. There are Drake fans and there are hip hop fans. I listened to Drake. I will listen to this album when I get a chance, but just not right now. People who listen to Drake, they see no wrong in what he puts out. They don't care if it's ass or trash. They're going to listen to it and they're going to hype him up. And then there's people who actually listen to hip hop. They can actually admit when something doesn't sound right. They can actually admit that, this isn't good, because they have better expectations. People had high expectations for this album, and I think he just really fell flat. Some people were saying they gave it like a 5 out of 10, a 4.5 out of 10. My thing is, I think people were expecting too much. Drake doesn't have the skill to give what you all were expecting out of him. That man does not have the skill to be a Lil Wayne. He does not have the skill to write. Okay, he can put out some good beats. He's a good summer vibe. He's a good long ride on the beach or whatever, or a good party club listener. But in terms of listening to him for substance, Drake does not have substance in his music. There is no substance in his music at all.
We've heard versions of this Drake before, a lot, and that becomes especially obvious on Habibti, which honestly feels like the weakest of the three projects. It leans heavily into Drake's melodic R&B lane, but too much of it sounds sleepy, repetitive, and overly auto-tuned. Instead of sounding inspired, parts of it feel like Drake imitating older versions of himself. Maid of Honour works slightly better because Drake experiments more sonically, leaning into dance and different production styles. But even there, one major problem remains. Where is the undeniable hit? Because Drake usually gives us at least one massive anthem every album cycle. A Hotline Bling, a One Dance, a God's Plan, something that instantly feels unavoidable. But after first listen, ICEMAN doesn't quite feel like it has that record yet.
My thoughts on Drake's brand new album, ICEMAN. So I just listened to Drake's new album, ICEMAN, and I have to say, this is by far the best album out of the three that he just dropped. Now, I will say this is a good album. Is it a great album? Absolutely not even close. Is it phenomenal? No way. Is it a classic? Never. Honestly, at this point with Drake with his albums, I don't know anymore. Meaning, I don't know who Drake is even making music for anymore because it doesn't seem like it's for me. And I don't know what has happened since the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, but it looks like Drake is not over that at all. And I feel like it gets in the way of the quality of ICEMAN because Drake is so focused on that still over 2 years later. It's just every single time Drake has dropped a new album over the past 10 years, it's just gotten less and less interesting to me. This is because it just feels like he's been making the same album over and over again, where he just puts a bunch of random songs on an album. There's no way this is the same guy who made Take Care. Nothing was the same, and also if you're reading this, it's too late.
Look, I know Drake's gonna get a lot of hate, bro, for having 3 albums, but you gotta understand, bro, as a Drake fan, maybe call me delusional, maybe call me crazy, I fuck with it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. Now, listen, could all this be condensed into one album, consolidated in one album? 1000%. I get y'all. I understand what y'all are saying, though. But put that aside, okay? We have 3 albums with 3 different vibes. You go ICEMAN, it's really him talking his shit about his relationships, his feelings, you know, the people that switch up on him. You got songs like that where you can relate to. Then you got Maid of Honour. I feel like that's for the hoes. You feel me, my nigga? Like, that's like, you got some honestly never mind vibes. You got some Alone at Prom, Tory Lanez type of vibes. Like, that's for y'all people. That's your controllers. That's your goddamn Just Hold On, We Going Home pop vibes. That's y'all. Those the moving the hip Drakes. And you got Habibti, Habitat. I don't know how to pronounce that shit. I don't know. That's your Hours of Silence. That's your Shot For Me. Y'all see what I'm saying? That's your real emotional, sensual, light-skinned type Drake. You know what I mean? I feel like he went 3 for 3. I don't know what else more niggas wanted, bro. You got 41 songs. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, bro. I give it around like 38 for 41, bro. But again, that's maybe me being delusional, but I can see someone not fucking with it. It feels like an infinite loop to somebody, but it's more like a playlist. That's how I kind of look at it. It's like, okay, I have a vibe that I want to go towards, and it's a playlist, and I got all these songs I can go towards. You know what I mean? So I don't understand the hate, bro. I fuck with it, bro. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I like it.
Last night was the first time I've ever heard the 40-year-old in Drake's music. I'm not gonna give you a full review of all 3 of the albums that Drake released last night because yes, he released 3 of them. It's like 43 songs or something like that. But there's always this conversation surrounding Drake's age whenever he drops an album, especially over the last 5 years or so, because Drake has gotten into his 30s, then his mid-30s, and now his late 30s. And there's always that conversation of, oh, you're too old to be sounding like this. You're too old to make music like this. Why are you still trying to make music for Kai Cenat, Aiden Ross, and that generation of people? Why are you still making music for the young people? And for the most part, I've understood the argument because most rappers, do get to 40 and their music starts to change. But I feel like Drake was doing still such a good job at making that type of music, and the charts were showing that, they were reflecting that. So it was like, I mean, I guess he can keep going until he doesn't sound like that anymore. But last night was the first time I've heard some of Drake's music and been like, yeah, that does sound like a 40-year-old trying to keep up with the young kids. It kind of does sound like I can hear a little bit of that 401k in his voice. Now, that's not me saying that he should never make pop or turn up music or anything like that, but I think this is the first time where I'm like, I can hear a little bit of that age.